Hello, happy Friday or whatever day it is for you. Just gonna give a couple seconds for people to join, hopefully live. You have a different view of my living room today. We have our Christmas tree set up already, so I'm switching things around, but we should have enough room to move. And I have to say, I think this is the first time I've ever paired these clothing items together, but I like it. I was feeling called to wear the orange and this felt good to put on top of it. So yeah, you can wear whatever you want. And I am here to inspire you to do so. So my name is Dr. Leah Taylor, and today we are going to be talking about the power of music and dance. And I am so excited about this topic because this is something I am personally extremely passionate about. I got my master's in somatic psychology because I knew that I wanted to help people, but I also knew that talk therapy was not enough. That in addition to, having this wonderful brain of ours, we also have this whole body that is interacting with our brain. And while I am traditionally a person that lives primarily in my head, and I spent a lot of my especially early years really cut off from the rest of my body, I intuitively knew the importance of all of it. So I've really dedicated my professional career and my work to integrating mind, body, and also spirit. And it's really a shame that my PhD in mind-body medicine does not include the spirit part. There's a whole discussion around why that is, and I won't get into it now. But let's just say that it is absolutely mind, body, and spirit, and all three of them are so important. So I am trained as an integrative mental health therapist. After I got my master's in somatic psychology, I then went back to get my PhD in mind, body medicine, and I focused my dissertation research on the power of live music because I was and am a huge live music fan. I saw I started seeing live music. My first concert was when I was 8 years old. I went and saw Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, with my dad, who owned a music store. But that wasn't what kind of blew me open to the world of live music. And I had seen concerts during high school, but it wasn't until the summer after I graduated from high school, I went and saw Rusted Root in North Myrtle Beach at the House of Blues. And I was just my whole body, I talk about how it was just totally blown open, and my mind, my body, my spirit was totally cracked open, rearranged. It was my first spiritual experience. It was my first experience of feeling fully embodied. And I will say, I snuck a 6-pack of beer into that show. So it was not that I was fully embodied in a sober way. It was just there was no way at that point. So this is a whole other discussion about, the use of drugs and alcohol to help kind of loosen people up. And certainly when I was younger, that was what I needed. But it allowed me to let go of all of the kind of layers and shoulds and shouldn'ts. And I was just fully in my body at that Rusted Root show when I was 18. And that was the thing that really blew me open and at that point I was oh my God, the power of live music. It is huge. It's so powerful. And then I found Fish during my freshman year of college, and I started seeing them as much as possible while still going to school. And that was just what led me on this discovery of the importance of live music and dance. And the reason that I focused my dissertation research on the experience of live music is because I see it as this mind, body, spirit vehicle for not only healing, but also elevation that can reach thousands and hundreds of thousands of people at one time. And not only is it this immensely powerful transformative experience, but it is also an experience that people are already doing. So as a mental health clinician, I want to look at things that it's not going to take bribing people to go do or convincing people that they need to go do. People are already engaging in this act of going to see live music and dancing to live music. And so it just for me was like a no-brainer of we really need to be looking at this to see what people are gaining from this experience and how we can take this experience and maybe even turn it into something that can be even more healing and transformative when intention is put forth, when people are able to have the opportunity to like get warmed up and be in their body and not feel like they have to take that alcohol and those drugs to get themselves there. So that was the reason that I focused my research on live music. I didn't put it into, this is so transformative. My question was like, what is the meaning of live music to you? And I interviewed 8 other people, and I also got to take my own experience into consideration, which I super appreciate as a researcher, because of course this was coming from inside of me too, but I needed to hear it from other people as well. And so I did that. I have, the Groove Therapy podcast with my co-host, Tara Lee Weathers, and we talk about the transformative experience of live music. We just interviewed Karina Reichman, who is a bassist, and she is a huge live music fan. It was so awesome to get to talk to Karina. That episode is actually out today on Friday. And Karina talks about how she actually went to live music to kind of study her idols and her influences to see how they were playing. So Karina was different than Tara Lee and I, who like found live music because of the party and then realized that it was so much more than that. Karina came in completely sober and was like, I want to take in as much as this as possible because I am just totally transfixed by the healing power of music, and I want to be able to do that on my own. So therefore I want to be able, like, really fully present to watch how these professionals are doing this so that I can create it too. And I found out that Karina is totally self-taught. She never took a lesson. She just learned from people by going to shows, by listening to music. And so if you want to hear more about Karina's story, definitely check out that episode. It's called Go Your Own Way, and by Karina Reichman, and that is out today. You can find it anywhere that you get your podcast, Groove Therapy Podcast. I am going to also be including at least one of Karina's songs in our dance today. So in addition to me talking about the healing power of music and dance, we're going to experience that too. So just real quickly, I don't want to talk too much, but when you think about music, I just want to say that music can be so healing because not only does it help us feel emotions that we want to feel, right? So you can put on music to get energized. You can put on music to feel happy. You can put on music to feel relaxed. But also you can put on music to feel ways that you need to feel. So let's say you're feeling sad and like you need to have a good cry. How many breakup tapes did we listen to when we were younger and just like wallow in all of the sadness of all the songs, or put a specific song on repeat and like sing at the top of your lungs while you're just like crying your eyes out? It allows us to feel, which is really important. So it allows us to connect to these emotions that we are just not really taught how to do, but music can invoke that from us. So it allows us to feel the things that we need to feel. And the interesting thing that I found in my research was that even though you put on a sad song, which would seem like, well, it would make you even sadder, why would you want to do that? It actually helps people to feel better. So even those sad songs, even those angry songs, even those like emotions that you think that you don't want to be feeling, once you feel them, it helps you to feel better. So music is amazing in that way. It allows us to feel the emotions that we actually need to feel and express and to move through. And it allows us to be able to switch our emotional state. So if we're not feeling motivated to do some housework, we can put some music on and like dance around the house and get our house clean. Or we go for a run, or we go for a walk, or we can put on music to feel more relaxed so that we go to sleep. Music is amazing. And the really interesting thing too about music, so music and dance are considered the oldest form of medicine. And if we look back throughout history, we don't know of a time where there wasn't music and dance. Like, from the hieroglyphs that we're seeing, from the depictions that we're seeing, like there was music and dance. But the interesting thing about music is that we don't necessarily need it to survive. So evolutionarily, it's it's kind of questionable, like, why it has survived so long, why we have continued to carry it with us through all of our cultures, throughout history, because it's not like sleep, it's not like sex, it's not like food, it's not like water, it's not like anything else that we have carried with us. But the thing that I would say about music is that it is soul medicine, and that we don't necessarily need it to survive, but we absolutely need it to thrive. And so that's music. And then of course, when you couple dance with that, which I have just always been a dancer, not in a professional way. I've just like always loved to move my body. I remember when I was younger, waiting for the bus with my neighbor, like we would create these routines with our dogs, and we would just like have so much fun doing that. I think because I am primarily a head person, I love the experience of being in my body. So movement, just like music, can work in multiple ways. And when I talk about like mind, body, spirit medicine, which really we need to be looking at, because we cannot rely on pharmaceutical medicine to heal us. We need to look at the oldest form of medicine, which is music and dance, in my opinion. And there are other traditional forms of healing, but that is just my vehicle for healing, and that is what I am focused on. And if you're here listening to me, you will probably love that too. So with movement, it can help not only your physical health, which is what we think of when we think of like exercise and moving around, right? Of course, when we start to exercise, we kind of like tap into that pharmacy in our own heads that releases dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin and endorphins into our bloodstream, which helps us not only relieve pain, but also to improve our mood, which is really awesome. But also movement is a way to help us mentally and emotionally. Mentally, it helps us to get out of our head, right, and into our bodies. How often do you just like get so tripped up in your head that you're like, oh my God, I just have to like get out of this? Well, you go for a walk and you feel better, or you put on your favorite song and you dance around your house and you feel better. It's because you get out of this cycle in your head that can keep you trapped, and you drop into your body. And when you drop into your body and you're moving around, those neurotransmitters are being released into your body, and it helps you to feel good, which is awesome and amazing. But at the same time, movement can help us to heal. Remember, movement and music can help us music can help us to feel. Movement can help us to move those feelings through us, okay? So emotions are energy. Emotions are energy, and everything that happens to us in our lives, we feel it in our bodies, and we hold on to it energetically. We can't see it because we can't actually see energy, but it is inside of us, it is around us. And until we are able to like break that up somatically so that we can move it through our body and process it through our body, it is going to stay with us, and it is going to cause not only mental and emotional problems, but it is also going to cause physical problems. And so the process of movement and dance, especially in an intentional way, can help us not only to relieve stress, because of all of the chemicals that are being released into our bodies, which is the antidote to stress, but it can also help us move energy. It can help us to heal trauma. It can help us to move through grief. It can help us to move through other really intense emotions that we are just not taught how to deal with. So music and dance is awesome. And of course, you can do that on your own at home by just putting on your favorite song and dancing, or you can also do it in more of an intentional way, led by a guide, which is why I created Embodied Groove. Initially, I created Embodied Groove to really enhance the live music experience because, again, as I said before, I see that as such a vehicle for healing and elevation for large amounts of people. And I absolutely see myself doing that on a larger scale. But it's been really fantastic and wonderful to focus on Embodied Groove in more of a studio, like closed class where it's not, this activating live music experience. I have one multi-instrumentalist who is playing music for me, and we're moving through things in more of a like healing focus. So I love that so much. theme for Sunday is going to be healing through movement. And I've heard multiple stories of students telling me how much better they feel the next morning. Their back stiffness is gone. I have one student who has been healing from an injury where she was bedridden for a whole month. She could not walk, she could not get out of bed. She was cleared to start exercising. She contacted me to see if I felt like that class, my Embodied Groove class, would be a good fit for her. I said yes, just make sure you're listening to your body. She did, she came, she's come to every class since. She keeps telling me how much better it's helping her feel. So I would love to hear your thoughts on all of that. I kind of just like laid out all of these things that I think about music and dance and live music especially. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know who's still here, where you're coming from, and we are gonna do some movement. Let me just make sure that I covered everything that I want to. I think so, that's good enough. Let's do some moving. I have 2 songs picked out for us. The first one is Karina Reichman. It's called Plants. It was her first single. Karina has 6 singles out right now, and she has a new album that is going to be coming out in the new year. She's also on tour right now. She's touring the Northeast. So if you live in the Northeast, check that out at karinareichman.com. And otherwise, just check out her podcast episode on grief therapy. I'm going to turn on my mic. There we go. So you can hear me through the music. I'm going to take this off. So get comfy. We have 2 songs, one by Karina, the other is by Galactic. And I'm going to lead you through a little just kind of warm up. I love to do my warm up with focusing on the 13 major joints, which I take from my NIA training. And then we're just going to move that through. But before we start, I want you to close your eyes and just take a moment to see how you feel right here, right now. So this is always a really good thing to check in before you do any mind, body, spirit intervention, so that you can check in after and see how things might have changed. So just taking a little baseline right now, noticing your feelings, so your emotional state, your mental state, other body sensations. Maybe you have a little doggy that's coming to say hi. Good, so just bringing some mindfulness in. All right, and then you can open your eyes. I am going to turn on the music in just a second. I gotta log back into my computer. Okay. All right, so starting with a nice hip distance stance. Feet a little further than hip distance apart. You're gonna lift up your toes, place them down. Begin by shifting your weight back and forth. This is a great way to just kind of balance your nervous system. Hear the music. Hopefully you can still hear my voice okay. Bringing some breath through your body. Let's go ahead and breathe in and out. Good. So breathing in through your nose. Your mouth. Really just starting to warm up your body. One more time in and out. And then bring some movement to your wrists. Moving your wrists, your fingers. And start to move your lower body as feels right to you. There is no right or wrong to this. I'm just kind of giving you a little guide, but I encourage you to listen to your body. Nice. Bringing in some movement to those wrists, coming to the elbows. So the reason I love to open up these major joints is because when we talk about energy flowing through the body, we need to make sure that our energy centers are open and that it can move freely. That's what this is about. It's also really good physically to keep us mobile and agile. But and then opening your shoulders. As you open your shoulders, just notice how you're also opening your waist, your side body, creating more space for your breath. Good, and allowing your eyes to kind of look around. You really want to free that head and neck. It tends to get super stuck looking forward all the time. Nice, and moving way. Again, allowing your head and neck to be loose. And then the whole arm. Your fingers, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. Nice. Good. Bringing that head and neck. Engaging the upper spine as you move your head and neck. Good. You can do a little circles and rolls. We're warming up right now. The first song is our warm up. Let's come down to our waist, to your hips. Good. You can bring them around in a circle. Maybe your hands want to dance too, like mine do. And then taking that circle the other way around. Continuing to send your breath freely through your body. Continuing to allow your eyes to look around. Maybe find little figure eights in your hips. So talk about stuck emotions. This is like the biggest center where our emotions get stuck and stagnant. So you want to go slow, but also bring some movement and energy here. Nice. And from your hips, we're going to begin to open the knees. I'm going to turn this music down just a little. There we go. Good. So you can find some balance. Do some kicks. Noticing the strength in your legs. Or you can also bend your knees. Or a combo of them. I love to bring in some playfulness as we get our bodies warmed up. Good, playing with balance. And then as you're playing with balance, go ahead and open up your ankles. Circles, you can do some point and flex. Noticing how your body's feeling. Maybe your temperature's rising. Feel your breath moving through. Good. Flex. Nice. And the whole body from the fingertips all the way down to the toes. Also, just bringing some attention to your 13th major joint, which is your spine. So as you move your head and eyes around, you engage your upper spine. As you move your hips, you engage the lower spine. And then your arms and your rib cage is going to get that mid-spine. So this is galactic here. I love galactic for just a little, I don't know, like putting all these body parts together. So I invite you to start lifting your feet off the ground. Maybe do a little step around your space. Finding your own groove. Maybe there's a particular emotion that you would like to bring in to your life today. I invite you to open up to that possibility. Maybe it's just flow through your body. Maybe it's presence. But if something comes to mind, then I encourage you to kind of stay with that for the song as you just begin to move your body through all the parts that we just warmed up, allowing them to dance together, to move together. Good. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Bring your arms up. You can bring your arms down. This is not about what it looks like, it is all about what it feels like. If there's a particular part of your body that is feeling a little stiff, a a little sore, then I invite you to bring a little attention there. And in a nice, mindful, easy way, just bring some easy movement to it. Maybe it's your right shoulder. And while you're moving the rest of your body, you kind of notice what's happening there. If something doesn't feel right, you just tweak it a little bit until it does. You know it feels good. Sending your breath through. Maybe go out big. Maybe bring your limbs in. Small movements. Nice. Couple more seconds. Sending that movement through the body. Sending that feeling through the body. Whatever that might be. And then coming back to a place where you can close your eyes. Maybe you bring your hands to your body. Just checking in again. So this is our post check-in. So noticing again your thoughts, your emotional state, your sensations. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's different. No right or wrong, just simply noticing. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So I'd love to hear how you're feeling right now. What do you notice in your body? Hopefully you were able to do a little bit of movement. That was like 10 minutes long. So again, you can absolutely do this on your own. Choose your favorite song, put it on, move around your house. Or you can join me for Embodied Groove. I'm leading it on Sunday in person in San Rafael or virtually. I have heard a lot of benefit from both. That's 12:30 to 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. If you want more information about that, you can find it in my bio or you can reach out to me. Our theme is moving or healing through movement. And then we dance one more time this year. That is my birthday on December 18th. 2 Sundays from this Sunday. So I hope you can join for that too. And definitely check out the Karina Reichman Groove Therapy podcast episode. She's just like such a ball of energy and badassery, and I love her so much, and I'm very appreciative that she came to spend some time with us. And I am appreciative of you for spending time with me, so I hope you have an amazing and fabulous day. I'm going to let you go. Go dance your health out into the world. When we can really integrate our mind, body, spirit in these ways, that's how we show up fully. And then we not only feel good ourselves, but we inspire others to do the same. So thank you very much. Love you very much. I'll be back here next Friday at 11 a.m. for another live. See you later. Bye.